Hi everybody. We are now doing task 4.22, which is a task on the repurchase of shares with a net asset value. After this task, I would like it for you to try task 4.21 by yourselves. Please send it to me as a screenshot and I will send you the solution for marking. Okay, so this is for Weena Limited. The financial director has prepared a draft set of financial statements. So we have some information on shareholders' equity and retained income. On page 235 in your textbook, a dissatisfied shareholder is willing to have his 80,000 shares repurchased by the company at a price of 8 Rand per share. The directors are keen to agree to this proposal as the shareholder has been very difficult at all the AGMs and he disagrees with all the decisions of the directors. The directors feel that the company will be a happier place without him. So in 4.22.1 for required, you have to use the draft figures above to calculate the net asset value and the earnings per share based on the total of 500,000 shares in issued. So we're going to calculate the net asset value first. I abbreviated to NAV. Please remember that the net asset value answer needs to be in cents. Okay, so we're going to start. The formula is shareholders' equity over the number of shares times 100. I've just abbreviated the formula compared to the previous exercise. Okay, you really need to start just learning your formula. You don't have to write it down, but you must always have it in mind. Okay, so we're calculating the net asset value. Okay, so shareholders' equity has been given to us. It's 3,172,000. The number of shares in issue. Okay, it's also been given to us 500,000, and you're going to multiply your answer by 100. Okay, you can just calculate 3,172,000 divided by 500,000 will give you 634.4 cents. Okay, so there we go. We have calculated the net asset value. Okay, then in 4.22. Okay. Also in 4.22.1, we have to calculate the earnings per share. The formula for earnings per share is the net profit after tax divided by the number of shares, and we have to multiply the answer by 100, again because we need it to be in cents. So the net profit after tax is given to you in the retained income note. Net profit for the year, 502,000. So we're going to put in 502,000 here. Again, you're going to divide by the number of shares, which is 500,000 as it was given to you. Okay, and we're going to multiply by 100 because we need the answer to be in cents. Okay, and we've got 100.4 cents. Okay, so we've calculated the net asset value and the earnings per share. Let's look at 4.22.2. Indicate how the shareholders' equity and retained income would change if the directors decided to repurchase 80,000 shares on 30th June at 8 Rand per share. Note that all the existing shareholders will still be entitled to dividends as their shares will be repurchased at the end of the financial year. Okay, so we have to calculate how the shareholders' equity and the retained income will change. So firstly, for shareholders' equity, how is shareholders' equity going to change? Remember, shareholders' equity is made up of ordinary share capital and retained income. So how will the ordinary share capital change? How will the retained income change? Okay, so remember, whenever there's a repurchase of shares, we calculate the average issue price. Okay, and the average issue price, how would we get it in this case? We would take the ordinary share capital, which is 2,850,000, and divide it by 500,000 shares to get an answer of 5 Rand 70. So our average issue price is 5 Rand 70. Okay, the number of shares which are being repurchased is 80,000 shares. So we're going to calculate 80,000 times 5 Rand 70. Okay, which will give us an answer of 456,000. This will come out of ordinary share capital. The difference will come out of retained income. So remember, the difference would be 8 Rand minus 5 Rand 70. Okay, the repurchase price 8 Rand minus 5.7. Okay, that's how we get 2 Rand 30. So we're going to take 80,000 shares multiplied by 2 Rand 30, and that will come out of retained income. Okay, so if you look at the ordinary share capital, so ordinary share capital was 2,850,000. It's now going to reduce with 456,000. The retained income was 322,000. It will now reduce with 184,000. Okay, you're just going to calculate your two answers. Okay, add it up, and this is how shareholders' equity will change. Okay. Now you didn't have to do these figures separately. You could have just done it in one because it doesn't matter. In total, from shareholders' equity, 8 Rand times 80,000 was removed. So we could have just calculated it in one, whatever you feel comfortable with, as long as you get the answer correct. Okay, let's carry on then. Okay, then okay, then it says that sorry, I just want to say. Okay, if I just want to show you how the retained income note would change also, because obviously it does change when there is a repurchase. Okay, and this is how the new format of the retained income note would be. And our figures, 220,000 would stay the same. The net profit wouldn't change at 502,000. The dividends wouldn't change at 400,000. Then the repurchase would come in at 184,000, and then we would end up with the retained income at the end of the year, which is 138,000. Okay, so that is how the retained income would change. In 4.22.3, calculate the net asset value after the repurchase of the shares. So again, we're going to write out the formula for the net asset value, which, as you should know by now, is shareholders' equity divided by the number of shares multiplied by 100. Now we've calculated the new shareholders' equity figure. It is here 2,532,000. So we're going to use that figure, 2,532,000. We're going to divide it by the number of shares. Now, if you remember, the number of shares was 500,000. But if 80,000 were repurchased, we would be left with 420,000. We're going to multiply your answer by 100. Okay, you're just going to do the calculation. And remember that it needs to be in cents. Okay, then 4.22.4. Okay, let's see. This is that. In your opinion, should the directors proceed with the proposal to repurchase 80,000 shares? Explain, quoting evidence to support your answer. So let's look at the net asset value. We've calculated it to be about 603 cents. And the previous net asset value, which was 634 cents. Okay, so do you see that the net asset value has decreased, right? So we can say no, because the net asset value has decreased after the repurchase of shares, right? Okay, then also the repurchase price of 8 Rand is higher than the net asset value. So if the shareholder is very unhappy, then the shareholder should accept just the amount of the net asset value or less. Okay, or else you could also say yes. Either way, as long as you justify your answer. The net asset value has not decreased by much, only 32 cents. This is a difficult shareholder. The company may run more efficiently without him. So as long as you justify your answer, you can go with it. Okay, but you must justify it and you must bring in figures from the question or from your answer. Or both actually would be better. Thank you. Bye. Please remember, task 4.21 for homework. Thank you. Bye.